students, this is Sweta Roy, your English Master Teacher at Vedantu. Welcome to today's session, guys. Today we are going to deal with an amazing poem, Television. So before starting off with this session, it's a poem by Roald Dahl. And before starting off with the session, I would like to ask you one very simple question, guys. Nowadays, when it was the lockdown, now it has the unlock, the process of unlock has started anyways, but still most of us are still staying indoors, right? So I would just ask you one simple question: how did you and how do you usually spend your free time? What do you do when you are free? Now your exams are approaching. I know most of you would be busy in studies, but let the studies let it be kept aside. Apart from that, what do you usually do? How do you spend it? Quickly to mention in the chat box. And with that, we would move ahead with the session today, which is Television by Roald Dahl. So how many of you spend your time by watching television? So yes, when I am right now saying television, most of you would be the answer would be no. I know that most of you would be saying that no, ma'am, we do not watch television anymore. Television, who watches television nowadays? It has become almost outdated, right? So it is now going to be soon obsolete, I fear, right? Anyways, instead of television, if we just replace it with our mobile phones, what do you think? If we replace the serials that we people used to watch long time back with the web series that we watch right now, and I am not excluded from this as well. I am also not excluded from this group of people who are addicted to web series. I include myself as well. But yes, currently I have been keeping myself away from series, right? So that is a sort of achievement. So how many of you are engrossed in such series? Do let me know in the chat box. Netflix, yes, Amazon Prime, all those stuffs. How many of you are very much addicted to all those things? I was a few days back, but now I have almost been able to control myself. So yes, how many of you are still addicted? Do tell me in the chat box. Now, in this poem, why am I telling you about all this? Because this is what exactly we are going to deal in this poem, which is by Roald Dahl, who is actually talking us about, who is making us aware, warning us about the ill effects that can be caused by the idiot box. What is this idiot box? Nothing, none other than television. So let's see what are the cons. He is not talking about any pros here. He is only and only talking about the adverse effects of television. So let's see what all we need to understand in this session. We are going to analyze the poem, right? So analysis of the poem along with the vocabulary and the poetic devices would be done, and in the next session we will start with the important thematic concern and important question answer. And let me tell you that this is a very simple poem and a very enjoyable poem as well. So let us sit back and enjoy this wonderful poem. Keep the poem with you, right? I have also kept the poem along with me, so I would be reading out few extracts which would, I think, amuse you, right? So I would definitely request you to keep the poem with you. First of all, let us see who's the poet of this poem. Roald Dahl. I think all of you are acquainted with his name, and he's not just a poet. He is a British novelist, short story writer, poet, as well as screenwriter, and he is basically known for his children literature, right? So he's famous for his children writings, right? So in this poem, let us see what he talks about television. All right. So first of all, he advises people, from his experience, of course, that people should never allow the children to sit in front of this idiot box. You all must be aware of the fact that television is called the idiot box, right? So before we proceed further with this beautiful and enjoyable poem, guys, I want to talk about something which is very, very, very important, and that is all about our platform and the problems which you usually face in the education, in the process of the entire education, your education. So what are the problems that you usually face? Doubts, notes, assignments, right? And competitive exams, choice of schedule, choice of language. These are the most important problems that is associated with each and every child when it comes to education. So many doubts which you do not have actually proper channel to cater to your doubts. Yes or no, guys? You are still with so many doubts. When I am doing the session, you will be left with so many doubts, right? Of course, the more you have doubts, the more curiosity you have, the more exploration it will be, the more exploration would be possible, and the more you explore, the more understanding you get. Don't you think so? See, we have studied about the life story of so many popular scientists, right? So many popular, immensely popular and influential personality. All of them had this curious mind. So doubts, there is nothing wrong in having doubts. Doubts, if you have doubts, you have the curiosity. But there should be a proper channel to actually cater to your doubts so that the doubts are solved, right? So so that is what we in our platform have come up with. That is the solution to all your existing problems. So if your doubts are constantly getting solved, how would you feel? Won't you feel, oh my God, what is this? This is a great experience. My doubts are getting solved. I am enhancing my knowledge, right? So that is exactly what we require, doubt clearing. And who is going to do that? Our wonderful class teachers and master teachers in our platform are always, always, always taking care of solving your doubts. See, now I am teaching you. You would be, having few doubts. I'm sure most of you, those who are listening attentively, they will definitely have some doubt or the other. You will tell me in the comment section about your doubts, right? And then in the next session, I'm going to talk about all your doubts, cater to all your doubts, or you will mail me and then I will reply to your mail. But in our platform, so personalization, which is not always possible in YouTube, is absolutely possible in our platform where there is live doubt solving. So in the live session, class teachers are there, specially designed. This entire team of class teachers are specially designed to cater to your doubts. All right, guys. So that is something which is wonderful. Notes you're going to get after each and every session, assignment after each and every session. We also do conduct monthly tests. We do conduct tests and we also give you the performance report. So what will happen if you get the performance report is you will understand where you stand. That is very important. Competitive exams, we do take care of that as well. Various Olympiads and other various competitive exams. Choice of schedule, choice of language, absolutely flexible, guys. And that doesn't end there. We have something extra for you. What is that? All micro course and crash course is absolutely free. You are going to get with this subscription, this one subscription, all micro course and crash courses. Now, what is this micro course? It is going to give you chapter wise course. So for let's say if you get the performance report and you understand that this is a chapter where I need maybe another live class. So can I get another live class? Of course you can get another live class, especially for that particular chapter in which you are having doubts. How? By uh, by availing our micro course. That too for free, right? Only with one subscription. And performance report, as I also told you about this performance report, and personalized attention also I have just now talked about. So all these amazing and unlimited live classes, that too within your time, in your language. Isn't that amazing, guys? So what you need to do is just visit the link in the description box and pinned comment. Then these are the options that you're going to have. Choose your grade, choose your board, check out the details. After you're satisfied with all the details, just click on get subscription and you have 3 types of subscription, guys. 1 month, 3 months and 6 months. Alright. So I would recommend you to go for the 6-month subscription because it is, cost effective. Alright. It is going to be cost effective. 1 month subscription, if you pay for it, because 6 months, 6 months you need, it's a standard duration which is going to enable you to absolutely be prepared for all your, in a very structured format, with all the notes, all the assignments, all the 6 subjects, guys. Yes, maintaining a balance between all the 6 subjects: English, maths, chemistry, physics, biology, social science, and with proper notes, proper assignments and proper revision, because we do have 200 plus mock test papers and 50 plus live courses, right? So yes, we need this 6 months duration to actually get into this entire process, wonderful experience of teaching learning situation. And if you pay, and if you go for just 1 month every month for 6 months, you pay more than what you pay 6 months all at once, right? You can check the price difference yourself and calculate it. So after applying the coupon code, guys, what is the coupon code? SWREPRO. This is the coupon code. All right. After the application of the coupon code, you're going to get 20% off, guys. So what will be your price after application of the coupon code? 9199 only, which is going to give you 20% discount. So do not forget to apply this coupon code SWREPRO to avail the wonderful 20% off, guys. All right. So with that, we would resume our poem, in which Roald Dahl is actually warning the children and their parents not to sit. No, actually, he's warning the parents not to let children sit in front of the television sets. And what is the effect that the children are going to have? Let's say if they sit in front of the television set. First of all, he said that almost in every house that he has visited, he has watched children gaping at the screen. Gaping means when you look continuously, right? When you look continuously at one place. So, for example, when you sit in front of the television, how you become so engrossed in whatever is happening in the television that you gape at the TV screen, right? So, what will happen if you stare continuously with your eyes wide open and absolute concentration? But where are you concentrating? On the TV set. And what is going inside the TV set? That and the television set knows, right? So that becomes, now what is the adverse effect of that? If you first of all sitting in one place for a long time, that is going to give you it's going to make you lazy, plus you're going to become obese. Yes, if you don't exercise, you're going to become obese. So if you sit in one place, you're becoming lazy, guys. Yes, couch potato, right? So then sometimes they sit or lie in a lazy manner and they get sloppy. That is what happens to the children who are constantly sitting in one place and only gaping in front of their television. So these are the vocabulary. This is the vocabulary, and these are the words which, and you can definitely take help from these words if you don't understand any meaning. And then he says, when the children are before the television set, they sit and stare for long hours. They don't seem to be moving, and they are almost hypnotized by this idiot box. They are absolutely drunk. They are absolutely drunk. How are they drunk? Their minds are filled with the shocking, ghastly junk. So, what exactly are you watching? What exactly are the children watching in front of the television without parental guidance? Then it may be inappropriate for their age. Maybe something very violent is going on. So it would take a toll in your mind, right? Your mind would be absolutely filled with all the nonsense that you sometimes watch in the television, right? So that is having again a negative impact on your mind, right? So what you watch is absolutely, it's actually the reflection of your personality. I think you all are aware of that, right? So if you watch something which is not appropriate for you, maybe which is filled with violence, you also tend to inculcate that in your mind. So what exactly the children are watching, that without parental guidance, so they are absolutely their mind is filled, intoxicated with all those junk, right? Now the question for you is, how does television keep the children still? What do you think? When you sit in front of the television, how does, I would not reveal the answer. You have to tell me the answer in the chat box right now. All right. Resuming, those TV shows kill their valuable time. So number one, what is the adverse effect? Number one, you become lazy. Number two, that is going to kill your valuable time. You can utilize this time with so many other things. You can do so many other constructive things. But what you are doing, idly sitting in front of the television and watching the ghastly junk, right? Neither are you doing any physical activity, nor are you doing any kind of exercise. And you are also not spending your time with uh, interacting with each others, or you are not spending your time reading books, or you are not spending time in the lap of nature. You are away from nature. You are actually engrossed in something, in a completely different world, right? In an illusory world, right? So there, in a virtual world. So if you just replace this television set with Netflix or maybe any social media that you're using, you are completely engrossed. If you see, if you just open Facebook or any social media or Instagram, whatever it is, just for, if you think just I'll just scroll through and I'll shut it down, you will see that after watching one video you move to the other, again the other. It is a kind of addiction, guys, right? So even if we do not usually now watch television so much as we used to watch before the discovery and usage of internet, but we still internet, we can actually replace this television with all these TV series or whatever it is, our mobile phones, our smartphones, right? So the poet now says that the children, uh, he knows that the television keeps the naughty children calm. Now, why do you think that the parents, have you ever noticed, if you go to a particular house, maybe your friend, where you have a kid, where you have a baby, you will see that if the baby is very naughty, if the kid is doing, he or she is very naughty, maybe there are two siblings, both are fighting with each other, and the mother and the father is, not able to manage them. What do they do usually? Come, I'll let's play, let's sit in front of television, I'll show you some cartoon, you will enjoy. This is what they do. Don't haven't you seen this, right? So this is true for most of the houses, right? How do they manage their children? Most of all, most of the parents, what they do is, don't fight, let's watch something interesting in the television set. So that is what is going to keep them calm. But do you think this is the correct solution? Do let me know in the chat box. So how would you, let's say you are sitting, you are given the responsibility of handling maybe your sibling who is very young, or maybe a kid, any kid, right? So how are you going to manage that kid? Would you let him or her sit in front of television and say, okay, he's actually disturbing me a lot, let him sit in front of television and make him watch cartoon or something like that, so that he is at least he is calm and he lets me do my work? Do you think that is the correct way? Do let me know in the chat box. Or what alternatives would you suggest? And what alternatives would you suggest to these parents who make their children sit still, sit in front of television set, so that they can sit still and he or she, the parents, both of them can do their work, right, without any disturbance? Right, so these are the vocabulary, so you can actually take note of them. And then, watching television regularly damages the sense in the head. If you are actually watching engrossed in the television, it is going to kill your imagination. Children are drawn away from the reality, right? He is just believing whatever he is seeing. He is completely into the virtual world. And what is being actually, the reality is not always shown in the television sets. Whatever, it is just fantasy, right? So you are completely into that world, cut off from the reality, and you are engrossed in that, right? And then it is definitely killing, see, it is killing the power of imagination. Children start to live in a preset imaginary world that they see on the screen, and they lose their own creative thinking, because see, they are already seeing everything, they are engrossed in that, so they are not thinking, they are not imagining, right? So what do you think, what can be the alternative solution of watching a television? What can be a better solution? Do let me know in the chat box right now. The poet feels that due to the imposed limitation of thoughts, the children can look. So now, what is this imposed limitation of thought? Very important line. So television is actually showing us. It is not questioning us. If somebody is not questioning you, your inquisitiveness is not developed. You are accepting whatever is being shown in the television set without questioning, right? So your inquisitiveness, your sense of curiosity, your sense of imagination, everything is getting hampered. right? The children are not asking questions to the parents. Whenever the children are asking questions, the parents are, in order not to be disturbed by the continuous questioning of the children, because children are by nature curious, right? So they always tend to explore, and the parents get disturbed. And what do? They make them sit in front of the television. But this is very wrong, because you are killing the curiosity, you are killing the imagination, you're doing harm to your children, right? So the children can no longer understand a fantasy or a fairy tale. They cannot extend their imaginative power. They are not able to imagine. They are accepting whatever the television set is showing. They are now used to see an image of the likely real world, a virtual reality. They are into that television world, that virtual world. Alright? So that is the harmful effect of television. The question is how the parents shall entertain their affectionate children. So now the parents, there is a challenge in front of the parents. If not television set, then what? How to keep our children entertained, right? So the question has been answered by the poet himself in the poem. What is the answer to the question? Think about the times when the television set was not invented. How did we entertain our children? By reading, right? So children in the earlier times used to read a lot of books. So how many of you nowadays read books? Quickly tell me a yes, no in the chat box. How many of you have still the habit of reading books in this time of advancement of in this era of advancement of science and technology, where we are all surrounded by so many gadgets? How do we actually spend time in reading? So reading has almost become prehistoric now. It has become absolutely traditional. Do we follow that? How many of you spend your time in reading? Do tell me in the chat box. Then again, this is a vocabulary for you guys, so you can take the help of this vocabulary part. And now, there is a question for you. What should the parents do to entertain your children? Quickly tell me in the chat box below. And now he says that he talks about the popular books of adventures that the children used to read. What are the popular books? What were the popular books during his time? He says that boys and girls used to read fantastic stories of dragons, gypsies, queens, whale, treasure islands, smugglers, pirates, ships, etc. Right? So whenever you are reading these, whenever suppose you are reading a book, a child is reading a book of a dragon, he is he's at the same time, because when he's reading he's not seeing anything, right? So he is developing this power of imagination. Don't you think so? When you're sitting in front of television, you are actually seeing. Definitely more than one sense organ is actually involved in that process. That is true. But what happens in that process is that your mind is getting blocked. Why? Because the imaginative power is not there. When you listen to something without seeing, you create a movie in your mind. When you read something without seeing, you create a movie in your mind that develops a power of imagination. And reading develops so many other things. There are so many positive effects of reading. You develop vocabulary, you develop reading skills, writing skills. So many things goes hand in hand, right? That is not there in television. In television, you are just engrossed and you just accept things as they are shown without questioning. When you are reading, the writers, they try and uh, promote this power of inquisitiveness in the readers as well, right? And especially in the modern texts, which are open-ended usually, that is also why are they kept open-ended, so that they, because anything, any story or anything can have multiple levels of interpretation, multiple layers of interpretation, right? So that is why most of the stories are now kept open-ended, right? So then he pays tribute to the authors, the children authors, right? So these are the children authors whom the poet pays tribute. Helen Beatrix Potter. Then he also mentioned some of the stories, like how the camel got his hump, and the characters like Mr. Toad, Mrs. Tiggy Winkle. So these are some stories associated with children, the children's stories. And as I told you, that Roald Dahl himself is popularly known as, he's associated with children literature, right? And then Roald Dahl requests all the parents to throw away their television sets. All right, that is very, very, very important. And what to install in place of the television set? Bookshelf. Right? Okay. And after installing, so now with this, let me ask you another question. How many of you have bookshelves in your house? Do let me know in the chat box. Another question for you. How many of you have television sets in your house? I know most of you would be having television sets and few of you would be having bookshelves. So we need to do the other way around. That is what the poet is saying. Most of you should have bookshelves along with books that you read and not TV sets. Alright. So installing a bookshelf, um, definitely. Now, what would be the children's reaction, which who had been so long addicted to television set? Initially, they would be screaming, yelling, right? All these kind of behavior that is expected from the children. They may even hit them. Okay, but the poet insists on filling that shelf with lots of books and ignoring all those, because after a week or two, when they will have nothing else, they will how long will they scream? At one point of time, they will, having no other options left, they will now start to spend their time in reading these books. And once they start reading, trust me guys, once you start reading, once you get interested, after the initial boredom or monotony you feel, when you once start to develop a relationship with your books, books will become your best friends. Trust me, guys. Right? So they will find it interesting. They will have this imaginative power. It will give them wisdom. Their knowledge will definitely, the horizon of knowledge will expand. Right? They will get satisfaction, and one stage will come when they will start to wonder what had they found in that silly machine called television, right? So television, after some time, would become silly for them, and books are going to become their best friends, right? And when they would grow up, they would thank their parents, because they would think that the parents had done the right thing. They had taken the right decision of removing the television set and installing the bookshelf there. Question for you guys. How, according to the poet, can children benefit from reading books? Quickly, 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 do let me know. So mainly two important questions from this chapter from this poem that you need to address is, number one, the adverse effects of television. Number two is the benefits of reading. So number one is adverse effects of television, and number two is benefits of reading. All right, these are the main topics. These are the main 2 points that you need to address when you are reading this poem, right? Nothing else is there. Very simple and very enjoyable poem at the same time. Now we will talk about the literary devices, right? And I have actually noted down few literary devices. Whatever is left, I will tell you from the poem itself. So kindly listen to the literary devices. So let us see first what we have got here. Simile, his brain becomes as soft as cheese. So I'll take you to that place where it is seen, where it is given. See. Okay, and one more thing that I need to say is, you can see that the poet has used capital letters, right? Actually, this is meant to enhance the emphasis on the fact wherever he has stated the negative impact of television, like he starts from here, it rots the sense in the head, it kills the imagination dead, it clogs and clutters up the mind, it makes a child so dull and blind, he can no longer understand a fantasy, a fairyland, his brain becomes as soft as cheese, his powers of thinking rust and freeze, he cannot think, he only sees. Right? So this entire portion has been given in capital letters to emphasize on the negative impact of the poem. So please read this passage very carefully. Please read this stanza very carefully. Right? So his brain has become as soft as cheese. This is definitely a simile, and this is also a hyperbole, guys. This is also a hyperbole. All right. Now, why am I saying hyperbole? Because see, what is hyperbole? Basically, when you exaggerate something, exaggerate, right? So your brain cannot become so soft. I mean, it cannot become literally. It cannot become as soft as cheese. So there is an exaggeration here, right? And also a simile. Simile is very simple. Synecdoche. Synecdoche here means part has been used for the whole. Synecdoche is used for a part for a whole or whole for a part. Part for whole or whole for part. What do I mean by that? See, a dozen of eyeballs on the floor. So this dozen of eyeballs, it refers to the children, right? Okay. So where is this line? Please take out the poem and note this line. Right. They loll and slop and lounge about and stay still until eyes pop out. Last week in someone's place, we saw a dozen eyeballs on the floor. Okay. So here also there is a sense of hyperbole. And here see, part for a whole. So a dozen eyeballs, actually it refers to the children. Right. So it is not, it's referring to a part of the children. That is only their eyeballs. So part for the whole. That is the figure of speech synecdoche. Then we have metaphor until they are absolutely drunk, which I have already explained when I was explaining the poem, right? So next we have allusion. Allusion, Penelope, squirrel, pigling. So what is allusion? When you refer to something which is famous in history or something like that, right? So actually he's referring to some very popular children writers or children's stories. So he's alluding to all those. So that is an allusion. And another interesting figure of speech which we have come up here is, let's see, what is this pronounced as? Epizeuxis. Okay, it's epizeuxis. What is epizeuxis? When you repeat, repetition, right? For the sake of emphasis, when you repeat the same word, right? Never, never, never let is never, never, never let. So that is epizeuxis. All right, and then there are few other figures of speech which are left. Let me talk about them as well. There are a lot of see, first of all, they don't climb out the windowsill. They never fight or kick or punch. They leave you free to cook the lunch. There is anaphora here. Repetition of the word they in consecutive lines. 3 consecutive lines. Same again. It rots, it kills, it clogs. Again, repetition of it. Again, anaphora. And then we have his brain becomes fast. Brain becomes as soft. His powers. So his again repetition of his in two consecutive lines. So again anaphora. All right, and that's all I can find. And if you can find any other figures of speech which I have missed, there are actually many figures of speech, but we have come up with the most common ones, right? Okay. So do let me know in the comment section what other figures of speech have you tried and explored in this poem. Please do let me know in the comment section. And this is the homework question. Explain and discuss the themes of the poem. And from here we will start in the next session. So I do want to see all your answers in the comment section, guys, so that we can take it up from here in the next session. Thank you guys for watching the video. Do not forget to hit the like button and do not forget to visit the link in the description box and become a member of our Vedantu family. These are the options that you're going to get. Choose your grade, choose your board, check out the details. So you will choose 9th CBSE, 10th CBSE, whatever your grade and board is. Sorry, ICSE, right? ICSE, CBSE, whatever your grade or board is, and then you can check out the details. After checking out the details, click on get subscription. You have 3 months, 3 types of subscription. You can select any one. 6 months would be a better option, as I told you, and do not forget to use the coupon code SWREPRO in order to get the 20% discount. And do not forget to hit the like button if you have enjoyed this poem, and if you think that yes, it is high time that we should think about reducing our television time, or whatever you watch, our watching time of all these TV series or something like that, then of course do hit the like button, and do start from today. Do start to read if you still haven't developed the power, the habit of reading, right? Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to the channel. Please do show your support and love just as you have done for us in the other channel. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. See you again in the next session.